I used to think I needed a weekend to get on top of my house until I noticed the mess came back by Monday. The truth is, clutter doesn't come from big disasters. It builds from small things. We delay a sock on the floor, dishes left for later, that random paper you didn't know where to put. And when those tiny tasks pile up, even a normal day can feel like too much. It's not that we're lazy, it's that we're mentally maxed out, and cleaning becomes one more decision we can't handle. That's why I started building in simple cleaning habits I could do without thinking, not a full routine. Just 1-minute actions that slowly made my space feel more manageable and my mind a little clearer. This video isn't about being tidy for the sake of it. It's about creating calm by changing how we move through our day. Let's walk through a few shifts that quietly reduce the weight of your space. Make the bed before your brain wakes up. The second I'm out of bed, I fix it. Not because I love it, but because if I don't do it right away, it won't happen. This one habit has shifted so much more than just how my bedroom looks. I used to let the bed sit unmade while I rushed into the day. But every time I walked past it, it quietly reminded me that I was behind. Like the day had started messy and stayed that way. Now I keep it simple. I pull up the blanket, fluff the pillow, done. No styling, no effort, just something complete right away. And that one action stops me from piling laundry papers or bags on it later. It signals to my brain we're keeping things together today. That's it. 1 minute, less honestly. Once that's handled, it's easier to carry that energy into the rest of the house, starting with what you do before you leave. Leave the house without leaving a mess. I used to leave the house in a rush, dishes in the sink, toys still out, half a coffee on the table. And when I'd walk back in later, it always hit me like a wall. That low-grade stress of knowing I still had to deal with it. Now I do one small reset before heading out. Not a deep clean. Just a minute to clear whatever's sitting out. Wrappers, shoes, clutter on the counter. It doesn't take long, but it changes how I feel when I come home. Instead of walking into a mess, I come back to a space that feels ready for me. That one quiet shift made evenings way less chaotic, especially on the days that already feel full. It's not about having everything perfect, just not leaving a mess behind that your future self has to clean up. Clean the counter. While you brush, most mornings, I don't have time to deep clean anything, but I do have time to wipe down the bathroom counter while brushing my teeth. Here's what I do. I take the towel I just used to dry my face, give the counter a quick swipe, and toss it in the laundry. That's it. No sprays, no extra tools, just what's already in my hand. What surprised me is how this habit quietly forced everything else into place. Because if I'm wiping the counter, I have to clear it first. And once I started doing that daily, it became obvious which items didn't have a home or were too annoying to put away. It showed me that clutter wasn't about laziness. It was about setup. And when the setup changed, so did my follow-through. Let's move to the entryway where clutter tends to multiply fast. Handle the entryway before you even sit down. There was a time when the second we walked in the door, it looked like the closet exploded, shoes everywhere, jackets on chairs, backpacks dropped wherever. I used to tell myself I'd deal with it later. But later turned into that mess living there all week. Now the second we come in, it's shoes off, jackets, up, bags in their spot. Not because I'm being strict, but because I know if it doesn't happen right away, it won't happen at all. It only works because I made it stupid, simple 2 pairs of shoes per person near the door, 1 hook per bag or coat. That's it. If it doesn't fit, it goes to the bedroom. Honestly, it still gets messy some days, but way less often. And when it does, it's easy to reset, because everything has somewhere to go. Give the clutter somewhere to wait. No matter how organized I try to be, there's always stuff that doesn't have a clear home. The library book that's due next week, the party invitation, the charger, I still need to test. I used to leave these things on the counter or the table, and then get annoyed that the counter or table was always messy. Now I keep one small tray by the front door, just for temporary stuff. Not junk, not storage, just things in transition. And once a week I empty it out. It gave me a way to honor the in-between without letting it take over the whole house. That's the trick, not expecting everything to be perfectly sorted all the time, just giving the clutter a clear place to pause. And when that kind of setup becomes part of the rhythm, even the fridge starts feeling easier to manage. Sort the fridge while the oven heats. Most of the time, food goes to waste in my house because I just forget it's there. So I started a habit. Every time I cook, I take 1 minute to move things around in the fridge. Leftovers come to the front. Fruit that's getting soft gets moved to eye level. Anything weird or questionable gets tossed. It's not a full clean out, just a quick scan while I'm waiting for water to boil or the oven to preheat. I've saved so much money just by seeing what we actually have, and I waste way less food. It's a small pause that helps me feel more on top of things, even on chaotic nights. Let's pair that with a habit that makes cleanup feel way less annoying. Fill the sink before you chop. I used to wait until after dinner to clean up, and by then, everything was stuck dried and harder to deal with. So now, before I even start cooking, I fill the sink with warm, soapy water. That's it. Just fill the sink. But what happens is, I end up tossing utensils in as I go, giving counters a quick wipe while things cook, and washing a few pans before I even sit down to eat. It doesn't feel like effort. It just flows, because the water's already there. It's the easiest way I've found to stay ahead of kitchen mess without turning it into a whole task. Clean. During the wait time. I used to think I didn't have time to clean, but I actually just wasn't using the time I already had. Now, when I'm waiting for the coffee to brew or water to boil, I use that moment to put a few things away. Wipe the counter, stack a few dishes, toss the junk mail. I don't set a timer. I don't try to be productive. I just take advantage of the pauses that already exist. And over time, those little resets have changed the feel of my whole home without ever needing a big cleaning day. Let's move to something even smaller, the kind of habit you barely think about once it's in place. Take one thing with you. This one is barely a habit now, it's just second nature. Whenever I walk out of a room, I take one thing with me. A cup, a pair of socks, something that doesn't belong. That's it, not a whole armload, just one thing. When I started doing this, it felt almost too small to matter. But a week in, I realized my house felt lighter, not because I was doing more, but because clutter wasn't building up in the first place. It's a quiet way to keep momentum going, even on the days when I'm too tired to do anything else. Make decluttering instant. For the longest time, we only decluttered when things got out of hand, which meant stuff piled up, and letting go always felt overwhelming. Now there's a donation bin in every closet, just a plain box or tote with a label on it. And anytime something doesn't fit, feels uncomfortable, or we're just not wearing it anymore, it goes in right away. No second guessing. No waiting for a big purge day. It also taught my kids to let go without drama. At first, I wanted to stop them, like, are you sure you want to get rid of that? But now, I'm just glad they're not holding on to things out of guilt or pressure. It's a simple way to keep things moving instead of letting the extras build up in silence. Next is a habit that helped me break the endless cycle of clean laundry but nowhere to put it. Skip the basket pileup. I used to drag laundry baskets around the house, telling myself I'd fold later. But later usually meant digging through a wrinkled pile 3 days later to find clean socks. Now I fold everything as soon as it comes out of the dryer. It sounds like more effort, but honestly, it takes less time, especially when it's just one load. Most of the kids' stuff doesn't even get folded neatly. Socks go in a bin. Pajamas get stacked. The point isn't perfection. It's just to keep laundry from becoming another mountain I have to climb later. No more baskets sitting in limbo. I fold, put away, done. It's not exciting, but it works, and it frees up space in my head. Handle the annoying stuff all at once. There were tasks I always avoided: returns forms, random calls. They weren't hard, just annoying. And they hung over my head for days. Now I have one time a week where I batch them. Just 30 minutes on a Friday afternoon to knock out the little things I've been avoiding. I keep a sticky note on the fridge during the week. Anytime one of those tasks pops up, it goes on the list. Then I don't have to keep thinking about it. And when Friday comes, I handle as many as I can in that one sitting. It's not glamorous, but it's the reason those tasks don't pile up or derail my focus anymore. And once the nagging stuff is off your plate, it's easier to say might as well to everything else. If you see it, do it. There's this thing I started doing anytime I notice something out of place. I just think might as well. See a sock on the floor, might as well pick it up. Mail in my hand while walking past the trash. Might as well toss the junk now. It's not a chore list. It's just a mental shift from resisting the small stuff to getting it over with while I'm already moving. And somehow, that one phrase made everything easier. It took the edge off. No guilt, no build-up, no waiting until it's worth doing. Just small actions that quietly keep things flowing. Take the trash. When you take the trash, one thing that used to make our whole space feel chaotic, even when it was mostly clean, was overflowing trash. Not just the main kitchen bin, but the little ones in the bathroom, the office, the kids' rooms. I'd walk past them and think I'll empty that later. But later always came too late when it smelled or spilled. Now I've tied trash pickup to another habit. Every time I take out the kitchen garbage, I do a quick loop and grab the small bags too. They're usually not even full, but emptying them early keeps things lighter, cleaner, and way less gross. It's one of those invisible tasks that makes a visible difference. You don't notice the impact until you stop doing it. But when it's part of the flow, everything stays easier to manage. It's that same principle, making the helpful thing just part of what already happens, that can shift how we feel about the end of the day, too. Get tomorrow out of your head. Before I'd lie in bed going over everything I didn't do, what I forgot, what tomorrow might dump on me. It made it hard to fall asleep. Now I take 5 minutes after dinner to check the calendar, write down what needs to happen tomorrow, and lay out clothes if the morning will be rushed. Nothing fancy. Just getting things out of my head and onto paper so I'm not carrying them into bed with me. It doesn't make the next day perfect, but it makes it manageable. And sometimes, that's all I really need to feel like I'm doing okay. Most of these habits take less than a minute, but they add up to something bigger, a space that doesn't constantly need fixing. When the little things stay under control, your brain gets to rest. There's more calm between the tasks, fewer messes waiting to greet you, and a bit more breathing room in your day. If this felt helpful, feel free to like or subscribe, no pressure. It just helps us keep making things that actually fit your life.